The Infected King Shazam issue 1, Sina Grace writing with Joe Bennett on the art, and it's like Joe Bennett.
I believe it's Sina.
Sorry.
Sina Grace.
But Joe Bennett, that's Immortal Hulk artist. What's he doing here?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Did anyone like this pointless book?
I did not.
No.
Sina Grace, I don't want to put it on them. This definitely feels like editorial, because this is how Billy was talking in Williamson's version, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the Black Adam. However, if you're going to have him be an edgelord, go for it. Have him be the worst version of a teen on the internet, right? Here, I feel like it's someone pretending to be a teen on the internet.
He's going after all the gods and the people who give him his powers.
Well,
it's just like,
his dialogue, you know what I mean? Like, it feels very forced. Like, you gotta write him like this. You gotta write him as a, and the other parts of the story is, I do take umbrage with him taking out Thor so easily. Like, that hurts.
Actually, the only time in the book I even cracked a smile is, what was the line he says at Thor? When we first cut to him with Thor, he says, I don't know.
Nice
look
try.
for Hercules, but I mean,
yeah.
I guess Thor will do.
Oh, there was a line that made me laugh because I knew Matt would be upset by it. Honestly, I didn't think the art was...
Was it just why you gotta suck so much, Thor?
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, it made me laugh. I mean, the art, obviously, Joe Bennett's a good artist. I don't necessarily know if he's suited for Shazam, on all honesty.
No.
I agree. I think that's the one benefit is it's supposed to be, infected Shazam, so it kind of works in that sense that it is this twisted version. I don't think it should look as clean as Shazam usually does.
Basically, he's being a dick because after all these gods that he gets his powers from, Mary's kind of like aware that something's wrong with them and tries to go and deal with them. Teams up with Ares to try and fight him, doesn't go very well. And it's like, hey, now you might be infected too, end of book. And honestly, this felt like such a pointless, like forced editorial, like this. We had a tie-in. People go write some one-shots, even though they have nothing to say.
It basically exists to explain why Mary's infected, if that happens.
Yes.
What did he stab her with, though? He's not holding a batarang.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because it's only supposed to be the batarangs. If I'm remembering Batman, Superman, it's only supposed to be the batarangs, not nth metal itself.
Maybe it's like he's infecting it's in his blood. And
I mean, maybe the argument is that because they're all connected because of the Shazam family, he can infect the others, but maybe not just anyone. Like, he can infect them.
Well, no, because the whole point of why he's searching after the gods is to find one who was worthy enough for him to infect and take onto his side.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. I don't... Yeah. I mean, basically, I think the Shazam family may all be infected in a future issue of Batman Superman, and this is just here to kind of explain that. When I don't think we ever needed it. I think we just accept it when we see them and be like, okay, sure, fine, they're infected too. Whatever.
Well, and to me, that's the corruption of magic aspect, not so much that he stabbed her in the gut.
Yes.
With it, so...
Yeah.
But this is one of those things, though. I realised about 2-3 pages in that I wasn't going to like this book, and because of that, I read the rest of it very quickly. I was just kind of like skimming the dialogue very quickly.
I started this book on Wednesday and I didn't finish it till this morning just because I was like, because I downloaded it to get it out of the way, right? The stuff I don't get physically, I'll read first so I can read my physical books when I get them. Didn't buy this physically, got this digitally, and as I'm reading it at work, I went, nah, I'd rather read nothing than read this right now. I'm
not gonna lie, I was pretty tired. I had an early start, and this was like the last thing I had to read, barring my Patreon book.
Yeah.
I was drifting off a little bit during this.
I'd be more upset about this if Billy wasn't supposed to be so unlikable because of the infection of it. Because some of the dialogue is just straight up bad, but I feel like that's the purpose. Because the rest of the dialogue
is so bad that it's well written bad.
Yeah, ride that line, because the stuff between like Mary and everybody else feels fine. It's the stuff when Billy's just being a little shit, like towards the foster parents.
Do you know what's really funny about this is we're kind of still on New 52 Billy here, and if you just go back to the early stuff that Johns was writing, he was a little shit then. You could just take that dialogue and put that into this, and it's kind of mostly there already. Yeah,
but this has turned up a couple more degrees.
It is, but not in a good way. It's turned up in the not quite the right direction.
Yeah, I get nothing out of this. This was a worthless tie-in book.
I hate the Batman Who Laughs so much for doing this to Billy. and not in a meta way that I'm supposed to. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Now I'm worried about Sky Tyrant because I've really taken a liking to Carter Hall, right? And I'm worried about Deathbringer.
I mean, maybe those other one shots will be good. Maybe get different writers. Maybe they'll have something. They'll think of something to say.
I
but
suspect they'll all feel relatively pointless. This reminds me of like the wedding one shots that we had.
Probably, yeah. But hey, sometimes it turns out to be the Dark Multiverse one shots where it's like, hey, these are actually pretty entertaining and seem to be building to something. So whatever. But I get nothing out of this. Absolutely nothing. Matt, what are you rating it?
This is a 5/5. Like, it's not even like, and I like Joe Bennett. I just got caught up on Immortal Hulk. Well, up until Wednesday's issue.
You're probably like one or two ahead of me then.
Yeah, so like Joe Bennett's great at monster stuff, but I never felt like this took advantage of that. So I want to give it more because I like Joe Bennett, and I've heard good things about Sign of Grace. I just don't feel this was the book for either of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Connor, what you read? That was next. I don't know why it took me so long to say that.
I wasn't sure if you were deciding whether you wanted to go or not. Then I have no idea what that was about. But I'm going to have a 4. It's not terrible. It exists. I don't hate it because I don't care enough to hate it. It's not like offensively terrible. It's just pointless but boring.
Yeah, I agree with the 4. Yeah, 4 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Fine, I'll abridge mine to a 4.5 to be closer because I don't want people thinking I liked it that much more than you guys because I didn't. That's just my grading scale.